The skies have always held secrets, whispers of destiny etched among the stars that have guided humanity since time immemorial. Among these celestial patterns, one constellation stands apart, fierce, primal, and commanding respect through the ages. Aries, the ram, first warrior of the zodiac wheel, carries an energy so potent it can transform or destroy everything in its path. Welcome to another journey through the cosmic forces that shape our personalities on Secret of the Zodiac, where today we're diving deep into the fiery depths of what makes Aries not just another sign, but arguably the most dangerous force in the astrological kingdom. This isn't hyperbole or dramatic flair. The evidence speaks for itself, and by the end of this cosmic exploration, you'll understand exactly why those born under this cardinal fire sign deserve both your admiration and caution. The ancient Babylonians who first mapped the heavens knew something profound when they positioned Aries at the very beginning of the zodiac cycle. As the ram that breaks through the frost of winter into spring, Aries embodies the explosive power of new beginnings, the unstoppable force that shatters stagnation and demands movement. This positioning was no accident. The first sign carries the responsibility of leadership, of charging forward when others hesitate, of breaking boundaries that have confined the collective. Mars, the red planet named after the god of war, rules over Aries with an iron fist. This cosmic connection infuses every Aries soul with battle-ready energy that pulses through their veins, creating individuals who approach life as a series of conquests rather than experiences. While other signs might seek harmony or understanding, Aries seeks victory, a fundamental difference in perspective that makes them formidable opponents in any arena they choose to enter. The ram itself, the symbol associated with this sign, reveals much about the Aries nature. Have you ever witnessed rams in combat? They don't circle each other looking for advantages or weaknesses. They don't employ elaborate strategies or wait for perfect timing. They simply charge forward with everything they have, again and again, until something breaks. This relentless approach to obstacles is precisely what makes Aries individuals so dangerous and effective. They wear down resistance through sheer persistence, turning what seems like a simple personality trait into a superpower that few can resist. Every zodiac sign holds power, certainly. Each brings unique gifts to the cosmic table. But there's something particularly potent about the Aries energy that sets them apart in terms of raw impact on their environment and those around them. It's not just that they're brave or determined. Many signs share these qualities. It's the particular combination of traits that creates the perfect storm of influence and potential danger. As we explore these 12 reasons why Aries stands as the zodiac's most dangerous sign, you'll likely recognize these traits in the Aries individuals who have blazed through your own life. Those born between March 21st and April 19th carry this distinct energetic signature, though naturally individual expression varies based on the unique cosmic blueprint of each person's complete birth chart. Before we dive deeper into these 12 revealing characteristics, take a moment to join our cosmic community by hitting the subscribe button. Our exploration of the zodiac's hidden powers continues with each sign, and the secrets we're about to unveil about Aries are just the beginning of understanding how celestial forces shape our experiences and relationships. A simple click ensures you won't miss any future revelations that might illuminate the astrological influences in your own life. Now, prepare yourself as we begin our journey through the dangerous territory of the ram's domain, starting with the first 3 qualities that make Aries a force to be both respected and approached with caution. The blazing trail we're about to follow reveals why those who underestimate this cardinal fire sign often learn their lesson the hard way. Reason 1. Fearless risk-taking. The first characteristic that elevates Aries to its dangerous status is their unparalleled approach to risk. While most signs calculate potential outcomes before acting, Aries operates on an entirely different framework. They don't merely accept risks, they actively seek them out with an almost primal hunger. This isn't simple bravery, it's a fundamental difference in how they process the concept of danger itself. When an Aries encounters a warning sign, they interpret it not as a caution, but as a challenge. The forbidden door, the impossible task, the unclimbable mountain. These aren't deterrents but irresistible invitations. This quality manifests in every aspect of their lives, from career choices to relationships to physical pursuits. An Aries entrepreneur will invest everything in a business venture others deem too risky. An Aries athlete will attempt the move others consider career-ending. An Aries lover will pursue the connection others declared impossible. This fearlessness creates a domino effect in their environment. Their willingness to venture where others won't often yields extraordinary rewards, reinforcing their belief that boundaries exist merely to be broken. The danger lies not just in what this means for them, but what it means for those in their orbit. An Aries will pull others into their gravitational field of risk, convincing even the most cautious signs to step beyond their comfort zones. The evolutionary purpose of this trait is clear. Every species needs its scouts, those willing to explore unknown territories and test new possibilities. In human society, Aries serves this function, pushing collective boundaries and expanding what we believe possible. However, not every risk pays off, and the trail of an Aries life is often marked by both spectacular triumphs and catastrophic failures. They accept both with the same unflinching attitude, considering neither success nor failure as final states but merely as data points in their ongoing expedition through life. This quality becomes truly dangerous when combined with their inability to recognize when retreat might be the wiser option. Where a Scorpio might calculate risk with precision and a Capricorn might build safety nets before leaping, Aries simply jumps, eyes open, heart racing, fully committed to whatever outcome awaits. Reason 2. Explosive temper. The second quality that makes Aries formidable is their legendary temper, a force of nature that erupts with volcanic intensity and often catches others completely unprepared. Unlike water signs, who might let emotions build gradually, or earth signs who tend to suppress anger until it calcifies, Aries experiences and expresses rage in real time with astonishing transparency. This Arian anger bears unique characteristics that separate it from other signs' expressions of displeasure. It ignites instantly, burns with white-hot intensity, and then, perhaps most disarming of all, vanishes just as quickly, leaving others emotionally whiplashed while the Aries has already moved on. This pattern creates an unpredictability that keeps others perpetually on edge, never quite knowing when the peaceful landscape might transform into an emotional battlefield. The root of this volatile emotional pattern lies in Mars's influence. The red planet governs action, aggression, and desire, bestowing upon Aries a direct pipeline between feeling and expression with virtually no filtering system. When provoked, their neurological wiring bypasses the contemplative processes most other signs employ, creating an almost reflexive expression of rage that feels uncontrollable even to them. This explosive quality becomes particularly dangerous because it's paired with physical dynamism. An angry Aries doesn't just feel their emotions, they become them entirely, often gesturing expansively, raising their voice to commanding volumes, and occupying space in ways that make their presence impossible to ignore. The sheer force of their emotional expression can overwhelm more sensitive signs, creating power imbalances in personal and professional relationships. Yet this same explosive nature carries a strange gift: the absence of emotional festering. Unlike Taurus, who might nurse grudges for decades, or Scorpio, who catalogs transgressions with perfect recall, Aries purges emotional toxins through their explosive reactions. Once expressed, the slate is wiped clean with remarkable efficiency. This creates the paradoxical situation where an Aries might terrify someone with their outburst, only to be genuinely perplexed when that person remains cautious around them hours later. The danger lies not just in the immediate impact of these emotional explosions, but in their cumulative effect on relationships. Many cannot withstand the repeated stress of these emotional storms, creating a pattern where Aries often finds themselves surrounded either by those with remarkable emotional resilience or by constantly changing social circles as more sensitive individuals withdraw from their orbit. Reason 3. Martial competitive nature. The third quality that establishes Aries as the zodiac's most dangerous sign is their relentless competitive drive, a characteristic so deeply embedded in their psychological makeup that it transforms even the most innocent interactions into battlegrounds for dominance. This isn't the calculated competition of a Leo seeking adoration or a Capricorn climbing social hierarchies. This is raw, martial competition that flows directly from their planetary ruler, Mars, the ancient god of war. For Aries, competition isn't a choice, but a lens through which they perceive almost every human interaction. A friendly game of cards becomes a test of strategic superiority. A casual conversation transforms into a subtle negotiation for conversational control. Even acts of generosity can become opportunities to establish themselves as the most giving, the most thoughtful, the most spontaneously benevolent. This constant competitive framing creates an exhausting intensity that few other signs can maintain. This martial nature reveals itself most clearly in how Aries responds to challenges, where a Libra might seek compromise and a Pisces might withdraw from conflict entirely. Aries experiences challenge as a clarion call that awakens something primordial within them. Their entire physiological system aligns with the task of conquering whatever or whoever stands in their path. Pupils dilate, adrenaline surges, focus narrows, and they enter a state of heightened performance that can be both magnificent and terrifying to witness. The true danger of this competitive nature lies in how it combines with their inability to distinguish between significant and trivial contests. And Aries will apply the same ferocious determination to winning an impromptu race to the elevator as they will to securing a crucial business contract. This creates an inconsistent expenditure of energy that can leave others bewildered about which matters truly hold importance for the Aries. Their competitive drive extends beyond external challenges to an internal battlefield as well. Aries competes ruthlessly with their own past performance, constantly pushing to surpass previous achievements and break through their own established records. This self-competitive streak drives tremendous personal growth, but also creates a restlessness that can manifest as chronic dissatisfaction, always striving, rarely savoring, perpetually hunting the next victory. Perhaps most dangerous of all is how this competitive nature pairs with their remarkable ability to identify weaknesses. And Aries can instinctively sense vulnerabilities in opponents with almost supernatural precision, targeting these weak points without mercy when engaged in any form of contest. This combination of traits, competitive drive and tactical intuition, creates a formidable opponent who doesn't just want to win, but needs to win with an urgency most signs simply cannot comprehend. This martial competitive nature serves evolutionary purposes in driving innovation and excellence, but it creates complex dynamics in a society that often values collaboration over competition. The Aries individual frequently finds themselves having to moderate this inherent quality to function harmoniously in team environments, a challenge that requires substantial self-awareness and personal development on their part. As we've explored these first three dangerous qualities, fearless risk-taking, explosive temper, and martial competitive nature, we begin to see how these characteristics interlock to create individuals who approach life with warrior energy. This fundamental orientation toward existence as a series of battles to be won rather than experiences to be had distinguishes Aries in the zodiac landscape, establishing them as forces that can transform environments through sheer will and unstoppable determination. Reason 4. Unmatched physical energy. The physical presence of an Aries enters a room before they do, a palpable wave of energy that disturbs the atmospheric pressure like an approaching storm. This fourth dangerous quality manifests as an almost supernatural stamina that leaves other signs breathless in their wake. While the entire zodiac wheel contains active signs, none possess the particular combination of intensity and endurance that characterizes the Aries energy signature. This physical dynamism stems from their elemental nature as the cardinal fire sign. Unlike the sustained burn of Leo or the explosive flares of Sagittarius, the other fire signs. Aries embodies fire in its most primal state, the initial spark that ignites against resistance. This translates to a physical constitution that seems perpetually charged, operating at frequencies that would exhaust others after mere hours. In professional environments, this energy creates both admiration and resentment. An Aries colleague might arrive at 7 a.m., brimming with initiatives, power through meetings with unwavering focus, suggest an intense workout during lunch, return to dominate afternoon negotiations, and still volunteer for after-hours commitments while others drag themselves toward the exit. This capacity creates natural leadership opportunities, but also unrealistic standards that can demoralize teams if not managed consciously. The danger of this unmatched physical energy becomes most apparent in confrontational scenarios. When conflict arises, most signs experience a natural arc of engagement, initial intensity followed by a gradual depletion that eventually necessitates resolution or retreat. Aries defies this pattern. Their energy reserves seem to expand during conflict, creating an asymmetrical dynamic where opponents find themselves depleted while the Aries grows increasingly focused and formidable. This physical resilience appears in their recovery patterns as well. An Aries might push their body to absolute limits, experiencing injuries or exhaustion that would sideline others for weeks, only to bounce back with surprising velocity. This rapid recovery reinforces their already dangerous belief in their own invincibility, creating cycles where they continuously operate at the boundaries of human endurance. Perhaps most unsettling is how this physical energy synchronizes with emotional intensity. When an Aries feels passionate about a cause, relationship, or goal, their physical and emotional systems align to create a force that resembles natural phenomena more than human behavior. The unstoppable momentum of an avalanche, the transformative power of wildfire, the clearing destruction of a lightning strike. Those who stand in opposition to an energized Aries rarely emerge unscathed from the encounter. Reason 5. Strategic mind. Behind the impulsive exterior and physical dynamism lies the fifth dangerous quality of Aries, a strategic intelligence that operates with startling efficiency when activated. This cognitive characteristic often surprises those who mistakenly equate the Aries' directness with simplicity or their impatience with thoughtlessness. In reality, the Aries mind processes tactical information with military precision, identifying weaknesses and opportunities with predatory accuracy. Unlike the methodical, systematic thinking of Virgo or the philosophical depth of Aquarius, Aries cognition functions through intuitive leaps and immediate pattern recognition. They process battlefield information, whether literal or metaphorical, in real time, making split-second tactical decisions while others are still assessing the situation. This rapidity creates significant advantages in competitive environments where timing often determines outcomes. The Arian strategic mind specializes in vulnerability detection. Within moments of entering new situations, they instinctively catalog structural weaknesses, power dynamics, and potential leverage points with unconscious efficiency. This happens not through malicious intent, but as an automatic function of their Mars-ruled consciousness, always preparing for potential confrontation, always mapping paths to victory. This strategic capacity becomes particularly dangerous when combined with their directness of action. Where other strategically minded signs might analyze extensively before implementing plans or hedge their approaches with contingencies, Aries moves from recognition to action with breathtaking immediacy. They don't just see the weakness, they exploit it before others have even registered their awareness of the vulnerability. Their strategic thinking extends beyond immediate scenarios to encompass broader campaign planning when sufficiently motivated. In Aries with a fixed objective will map multiple routes to achievement, anticipating obstacles and preparing countermeasures with a thoroughness that contradicts their reputation for impulsiveness. This longer-range strategic capacity often remains hidden until circumstances require its deployment, creating the unsettling experience of discovering the chess master behind the seemingly impulsive gambit player. The danger intensifies when this strategic mind focuses on interpersonal dynamics. An Aries who feels threatened or challenged can deploy psychological strategies with uncomfortable precision, instinctively identifying emotional pressure points and leveraging them to maintain dominance or secure objectives. This capacity doesn't necessarily indicate manipulation as a preferred approach. Aries typically prefers direct confrontation, but remains available as a formidable secondary resource when direct methods prove insufficient. Reason 6. Raw charisma. The sixth quality elevating Aries to its status as the zodiac's most dangerous sign is their raw, unfiltered charisma, a magnetic presence that compels attention and influences behavior through sheer force of personality rather than calculated charm. Unlike the warm radiance of Leo or the mysterious allure of Scorpio, Aries' charisma manifests as an electric current of authentic enthusiasm that energizes entire environments. This charismatic quality stems from their absolute conviction in their own perceptions and choices. An Aries rarely suffers from the hesitation or second-guessing that diminishes personal presence. They occupy space with complete certainty of their right to exist exactly as they are, creating an authenticity that registers as both refreshing and compelling in a world of careful self-presentation and strategic identity management. The dangerous aspect of this charisma emerges in how effortlessly it converts to influence. An Aries rarely needs formal authority to direct group dynamics. Their passionate articulation of possibilities, combined with their contagious confidence, naturally positions them as decision makers, even in situations where organizational hierarchies would suggest other leadership. This unofficial authority often outweighs official structures, creating complex power dynamics in professional and social environments. Their charismatic influence becomes particularly potent during moments of uncertainty or crisis. When collective anxiety rises and decisive action seems necessary, the Aries' capacity for confident direction becomes nearly irresistible. Groups instinctively orient towards the certainty they project, following their lead into situations that more cautious assessment might reject as excessively risky or potentially dangerous. This charismatic pull operates through multiple channels simultaneously. Verbally, Aries communicates with a distinctive directness and intensity that commands attention, their speech patterns typically featuring declarative certainty rather than speculative possibilities. Physically, they occupy space dynamically, using expansive gestures and maintaining strong eye contact that creates immediate connection. Energetically, they radiate a vitality that automatically draws others into their field of influence. The dangerous magnetism of Aries becomes most evident in their ability to normalize extraordinary risk. Through their charismatic presentation, behaviors and choices that would typically register as extreme begin to appear reasonable, even necessary. Their passionate framing transforms potential hazards into exciting opportunities, creating scenarios where groups willingly follow them into situations that individual judgment might otherwise avoid. This sixth quality completes the first half of our exploration into Aries' dangerous nature, revealing how these initial characteristics, fearless risk-taking, explosive temper, martial competitive nature, unmatched physical energy, strategic mind, and raw charisma, interlock to create individuals capable of transforming environments through sheer force of will and personality. These qualities establish Aries not merely as one sign among 12, but as a fundamental force of nature disguised in human form, the embodiment of initiative, courage, and transformative action in both its creative and destructive expressions. As we've witnessed through these six qualities, the danger of Aries lies not in malicious intent, but in the sheer magnitude of their impact. Like fire itself, they're elemental ruler. They bring essential warmth and illumination, but require respect and appropriate boundaries to prevent unintended destruction. Those who understand and properly channel these powerful Aryan qualities find themselves with allies capable of breaking through seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Those who underestimate or provoke these qualities often discover too late why ancient astrological texts consistently positioned Aries as the warrior archetype of the zodiac, formidable, necessary, and demanding appropriate respect for their inherent power. Reason 7. Stubborn determination. In the psychological landscape of the zodiac, each sign possesses its own flavor of persistence. Taurus offers steadfast dedication, Capricorn provides disciplined endurance, and Scorpio delivers relentless focus. Yet the seventh dangerous quality of Aries, their stubborn determination, manifests with a distinctive intensity that separates it from other forms of persistence in both nature and impact. This Arian determination operates as an immovable force that acknowledges neither external obstacles nor rational limitations. When an Aries commits to a path, they forge ahead with a singular focus that borders on obsession, creating momentum that reshapes reality around their intention rather than adapting to existing circumstances. This quality transforms what would be impossible for others into merely difficult challenges awaiting conquest. The neurological underpinning of this determination appears in how Aries processes contradictory information. When presented with evidence suggesting their chosen direction might be unwise or unattainable, they experience a peculiar cognitive filtering that minimizes or dismisses these warning signals. This isn't willful ignorance, but rather a fundamental difference in how they hierarchize information, prioritizing their internal vision over external data with almost automatic efficiency. This stubborn determination becomes particularly dangerous when combined with their cardinal quality. As the initiating force of the zodiac, Aries doesn't merely persist along established paths, but actively creates new trajectories through previously uncharted territory. This pioneer spirit means their determination often leads them, and those who follow them, into scenarios without precedent, historical guidance, or established safety parameters. The intensity of their determination reveals itself most clearly in how Aries responds to failure. Where most signs would recognize repeated setbacks as indication to reconsider or redirect, Aries interprets these same obstacles as evidence they're pushing against meaningful resistance, which only strengthens their resolve. This creates situations where logical retreat points pass unacknowledged, and they continue advancing toward objectives long after risk-reward assessments would suggest abandonment. Perhaps most concerning is how this determination interfaces with their relationship to physical limitations. An Aries will push through pain, exhaustion, and injury with alarming willingness when sufficiently committed to their objective. This capacity serves them in crisis scenarios, but creates substantial hazards in everyday life, where their refusal to acknowledge bodily warning signals can lead to serious harm before they recognize the severity of their condition. The dangerous beauty of this Arian determination lies in its transformative potential. History's most significant innovations and advancements often required precisely this quality: the willingness to persist beyond rational stopping points, to maintain vision despite overwhelming contrary evidence, to continue when all sensible observers advised surrender. This same quality that makes Aries dangerous also makes them essential catalysts for human advancement and evolutionary growth. Reason 8. Impulsive decision-making. The eighth dangerous quality that elevates Aries beyond ordinary zodiacal power is their distinctive relationship with time and decision-making. Unlike the contemplative patience of Taurus or the careful analysis of Virgo, Aries operates through impulsive action that compresses the normal sequence of consideration, choice, and implementation into what appears as a single, seamless movement. This impulsivity stems from their neurological wiring, specifically the minimal delay between stimulus and response that characterizes the Arian cognitive pattern. Where most signs experience a perceptible gap between encountering a situation and deciding how to engage with it, Aries processes these elements with such rapidity that their reactions appear instantaneous, often startling those accustomed to more deliberate decision cycles. The dangerous aspect of this impulsivity emerges in how it interfaces with risk assessment. The compressed time frame of Arian decision-making leaves minimal space for thorough consideration of potential consequences, creating scenarios where they commit to significant actions with inadequate understanding of possible outcomes. This produces both spectacular successes through intuitive leaps and catastrophic failures through unexamined choices. Their impulsive nature becomes particularly evident in how Aries navigates transitional moments. When circumstances shift suddenly, whether in professional contexts, relationship dynamics, or environmental conditions, they respond with immediate recalibration and action, while others remain frozen in processing or adaptation. This creates asymmetrical power dynamics, where Aries seizes control of fluid situations through sheer decisiveness before others have established their positions. The adrenaline component of their decision-making adds another layer of danger to this impulsivity. Aries experiences a neurochemical reward from rapid action that reinforces their tendency toward immediate response, creating a self-perpetuating cycle where quick decisions generate physiological pleasure regardless of outcomes. This creates an addiction to impulsivity that can override more prudent considerations, even when they consciously recognize the value of patience. Most unsettling is how this impulsive quality interacts with their charismatic influence. An Aries doesn't merely make snap decisions for themselves. They often commit entire groups to impulsive directions through the contagious nature of their certainty. Before more cautious members can articulate objections or suggest alternative approaches, an Aries has already mobilized collective momentum toward their chosen course, creating situations where the group finds itself committed to unexamined paths through the sheer velocity of Arian decision-making. Yet this same impulsivity that creates danger also generates extraordinary opportunities. In rapidly evolving situations where analytical paralysis would ensure failure, the Aries' capacity for instantaneous action often produces the only viable path forward. Their willingness to leap without complete information, to trust intuitive understanding over exhaustive analysis, enables them to seize narrow windows of opportunity that more deliberate science would watch close while still gathering data. Reason 9. Natural leadership. The ninth dangerous quality establishing Aries as the zodiac's most formidable sign is their instinctive leadership capacity, a natural authority that emerges without conscious effort or strategic positioning. Unlike the cultivated leadership of Leo or the structural authority of Capricorn, Aries' leadership manifests as an organic extension of their essential nature, rather than a developed skill or social role. This leadership quality flows from their primal relationship with initiative. As the first sign of the zodiac, Aries embodies the archetypal beginning energy, the initial movement that disrupts inertia and establishes new direction. This pioneering impulse automatically positions them at the front of any collective movement, creating de facto leadership through their natural positioning at the vanguard of action rather than through deliberate authority seeking. The dangerous element of this leadership emerges in how effortlessly it forms, without institutional validation or expertise qualification. In Aries, needs neither formal position nor demonstrated mastery to assume directional control of group dynamics. Their confident articulation of potential paths forward, combined with their immediate readiness to take first steps, naturally draws others into their wake, regardless of their official standing or established credentials in the relevant domain. Their leadership style carries distinctive characteristics that amplify its impact and potential danger. Unlike collaborative leaders who build consensus or analytical leaders who justify direction through data, Aries leads through demonstration and momentum. They rarely spend energy convincing others of their chosen path. They simply begin moving with such conviction that following them feels like the natural response to their initiated action rather than a conscious choice to submit to their authority. This leadership quality becomes particularly evident during moments of crisis or uncertainty. When established structures falter or traditional approaches prove inadequate, the Aries' instinct for immediate, decisive action creates a psychological anchor for groups experiencing collective anxiety. Their unflinching willingness to establish new direction when familiar paths disappear creates almost automatic followership from those seeking stability amid disorientation. The most concerning aspect of this natural leadership lies in its disconnection from traditional qualification metrics. An Aries doesn't require extensive experience, methodical planning, or comprehensive knowledge to step into leadership roles. They require only sufficient confidence in their chosen direction and the courage to move first. This creates scenarios where groups follow Aryan leadership into domains where more qualified guides might have chosen different routes or recognized hazards invisible to the enthusiastic but potentially inexperienced Aries pioneer. Yet this same unfiltered leadership that creates potential danger also generates essential evolutionary functions. Human advancement requires periodic departures from established patterns, movements beyond familiar territory into unexplored possibility. The Aries' willingness to lead beyond the boundaries of proven approaches, to venture into unmapped terrain with confident direction, provides crucial evolutionary service even while creating heightened risk through their comfort with uncharted territory. As we examine these three additional qualities, stubborn determination, impulsive decision-making, and natural leadership, we witness how they interlock with the previous 6 characteristics to create individuals whose impact on their environment extends far beyond their proportional representation in the population. These 9 qualities establish Aries not merely as participants in collective experience, but as primary shapers of shared reality through their distinctive combination of initiative, certainty, and unrelenting forward motion. The dangerous power of Aries emerges not from any single quality in isolation, but from how these characteristics amplify and reinforce each other in dynamic interaction. Their stubborn determination fuels their impulsive actions, which positions them in natural leadership roles, which reinforces their confidence in their strategic perceptions, which strengthens their competitive drive, creating continuous feedback loops that intensify their already formidable impact on environments and relationships. Those born under this powerful sign carry both extraordinary gifts and significant responsibilities. Their capacity to initiate change, overcome resistance, and lead beyond established boundaries provides essential service to collective evolution. Yet these same qualities require conscious management to prevent unintended destruction through their sheer force and unfiltered expression. Reason 10. Fierce protectiveness. The 10th dangerous quality of Aries reveals itself through a protective instinct so powerful, it transforms their already formidable nature into something approaching mythological proportions. Unlike the nurturing protection of Cancer or the loyal defense of Taurus, Aryan protection manifests as a primal force that bypasses rational consideration when activated, creating responses disproportionate to the actual threat level. This fierce protectiveness emerges from their fundamental relationship with vulnerability. Though Aries presents as the cosmic warrior, self-sufficient and invulnerable, they experience deep sensitivity toward those they consider under their protection. This creates a paradoxical dynamic where the most independent sign of the zodiac develops intense protective bonds that override their individualistic tendencies when threats emerge to their inner circle. The dangerous aspect of this protection appears in its triggering threshold and subsequent magnitude, where most signs calibrate protective responses proportionally to the severity of the threat. Aries experiences binary activation, either completely disengaged or catastrophically engaged, with minimal gradation between these states. Once their protective instinct activates, they deploy their full arsenal of formidable qualities without restraint or modulation. This protective response extends across multiple domains simultaneously. Physically, they position themselves as literal shields, placing their bodies between perceived threats and their protected ones with instinctive immediacy. Verbally, they deploy devastating directness, using language as a weapon with precision and force that can leave permanent relational damage. Resourcefully, they mobilize whatever assets they control, financial, social, or structural, to eliminate threats through any available means. The temporal dimension of their protectiveness adds another layer of dangerous potency. Unlike signs that might eventually forgive transgressions against themselves, Aries maintains nearly indefinite vigilance regarding threats to their loved ones. They develop elaborate mental catalogs of those who have harmed or even merely disrespected people under their protection, creating prolonged consequences for actions others might consider minor or transient. Perhaps most concerning is how this protective quality interfaces with their strategic capacity and competitive nature. An Aries defending loved ones doesn't merely respond to immediate threats, but strategically dismantles the threat's foundation, ensuring not just current safety, but future security through comprehensive neutralization of perceived danger sources. This creates scenarios where proportional response transforms into preemptive elimination of potential future threats. Yet this same fierce protection that creates danger also provides extraordinary security for those fortunate enough to fall within an Aries' protective boundary. In a world of uncertain loyalties and conditional support, their absolute commitment to defending their inner circle creates safe harbors where vulnerable individuals can develop and flourish under the unwavering shield of Aryan protection. Reason 11. Brutal honesty. The 11th dangerous quality distinguishing Aries manifests through their relationship with truth, specifically their capacity for brutal honesty that cuts through social pretense and comfortable illusions with surgical precision. Unlike the diplomatic truth-telling of Libra or the strategic disclosures of Scorpio, Aries delivers unfiltered reality without cushioning or contextual softening. This honest expression stems from their fundamental orientation toward efficiency and clarity. Aries perceives social nicety and diplomatic phrasing as unnecessary complications that delay direct engagement with essential reality. Their communication operates from the premise that immediate truth, however temporarily painful, ultimately serves everyone better than comfortable deception or partial disclosure. The dangerous element of this honesty emerges in its delivery methodology and timing. Aries typically provides truth without consideration for the recipient's emotional readiness or the relationship's capacity to absorb the impact of unfiltered disclosure. This creates situations where objectively accurate information causes disproportionate damage through its unmoderated presentation rather than its inherent content. Their truth-telling becomes particularly evident in how they address self-deception in others. When encountering individuals maintaining comfortable illusions about themselves, their relationships, or their circumstances, Aries experiences almost physical discomfort with the discrepancy between perception and reality. This discomfort often triggers immediate correction through blunt observations that demolish carefully constructed self-narratives without warning or preparation. The instant nature of their honesty adds another layer of potency to this quality, where other signs might strategically time difficult truths for optimal reception. Aries delivers revelations at the moment of recognition, creating situations where recipients must process potentially destabilizing information without preparation or supportive framing. This temporal immediacy amplifies the impact of already challenging content through the shock of unexpected delivery. Most concerning is how this brutal honesty interfaces with their explosive emotional expression. When Aries feels strongly about the subject of their truth-telling, particularly when addressing perceived injustice or harmful behavior, their honest communication takes on additional intensity that can overwhelm recipients through its combined emotional and factual impact. This creates interactions where legitimate truth becomes almost weaponized through its passionate delivery. Yet this same unfiltered honesty that creates interpersonal danger also provides essential clarity in a world increasingly comfortable with convenient fictions and strategic misrepresentations. Their willingness to name unacknowledged realities, to speak truth regardless of personal cost or social consequence, serves crucial functions in maintaining collective integrity and preventing the normalization of destructive falsehoods. Reason 12. Boundless courage. The final dangerous quality completing our exploration of Aries reveals perhaps their most essential characteristic, a boundless courage that transcends ordinary bravery to approach something more fundamental, the absence of existential fear itself. Unlike the calculated courage of Capricorn or the philosophical fearlessness of Sagittarius, Aries manifests courage as their default state rather than a quality they must summon or develop. This courage originates from their primordial relationship with existence. As the first sign of the zodiac, Aries embodies the initial thrust of consciousness into form, the original courage required for being itself. This creates individuals who experience fear as a temporary, surface phenomenon rather than a fundamental condition, allowing them to move through threatening scenarios with a baseline confidence most signs must consciously construct. The dangerous aspect of this courage appears in its disconnection from survival instinct, where evolutionary biology has installed fear as a protective mechanism preventing unnecessary risk to biological continuity. Aries experiences diminished activation of these warning systems. This creates scenarios where they engage with genuinely hazardous situations without the internal alarms that would caution others against similar exposure. Their courage becomes particularly evident in confrontational contexts. When facing opposition, whether intellectual, physical, or social, Aries demonstrates a remarkable comfort with conflict that can destabilize opponents accustomed to using intimidation as strategic leverage. Their natural willingness to engage rather than avoid confrontation neutralizes traditional power dynamics based on threat aversion, creating unpredictable outcomes in situations normally governed by fear-based compliance. The contagious quality of their courage adds another dimension of influence to this characteristic. Aries doesn't merely demonstrate personal bravery, but actively inspires courage in others through both example and expectation. Their matter-of-fact approach to situations others find terrifying normalizes courage within their sphere of influence, creating collective bravery that can either serve protective functions or lead groups into genuine danger through normalized risk tolerance. Most significant is how this boundless courage interfaces with their sense of possibility. Unconstrained by traditional fear responses, Aries perceives potential paths invisible to those limited by conventional risk assessment. This creates both extraordinary opportunities for advancement beyond established boundaries and substantial dangers when those boundaries served legitimate protective functions rather than arbitrary limitations. This 12th quality completes our exploration of why Aries stands as the zodiac's most dangerous sign, not through malevolence or destructive intent, but through the sheer magnitude of their impact on environments and relationships. These 12 qualities, fearless risk-taking, explosive temper, martial competitive nature, unmatched physical energy, strategic mind, raw charisma, stubborn determination, impulsive decision-making, natural leadership, fierce protectiveness, brutal honesty, and boundless courage, interlock to create individuals who transform reality through their mere presence and participation. The portrait emerging from these combined characteristics reveals Aries not merely as one archetype among 12, but as a fundamental force of initiation, courage, and transformation. Their dangerous power serves essential evolutionary functions, breaking stagnation, challenging limitations, pioneering new territories of possibility, while simultaneously creating risks through their unmodulated intensity and resistance to restraint. Those seeking to navigate relationships with Aries individuals benefit from understanding these qualities not as flaws to be corrected, but as primal forces to be respected and appropriately channeled. Like fire itself, their elemental ruler, Aries energy provides essential services when properly contained and directed, while creating destruction when engaged without appropriate boundaries and respect. The zodiac wheel contains this powerful initiatory force at its beginning for profound reason. Without the Aries impulse to begin, to risk, to confront, to lead, to protect, to speak truth, and to demonstrate courage, collective evolution would stagnate in comfortable patterns and safe limitations. Their dangerous qualities provide the necessary disruption that prevents entropic decline, continuously catalyzing growth through their refusal to accept current boundaries as final limitations. In understanding these 12 qualities, we recognize that the danger of Aries represents not a warning to avoid this powerful sign, but an invitation to engage consciously with their transformative potential, to respect their fire without fearing it, to appreciate their courage while establishing appropriate containers for its expression, to value their honesty while preparing for its impact. For in their dangerous power lies not just potential destruction, but the essential spark of new creation. Throughout this exploration of Aries as the zodiac's most dangerous sign, we've unveiled the multidimensional power that makes these individuals forces of nature disguised in human form. We began with their fearless risk-taking, that unflinching willingness to charge into territories others avoid through caution or doubt. We witnessed their explosive temper, igniting with volcanic intensity before vanishing just as quickly, leaving others emotionally whiplashed while they've already moved forward. We examined their martial competitive nature, transforming even friendly interactions into battlegrounds for dominance through their connection to warrior planet Mars. As our journey continued, we discovered their unmatched physical energy, that seemingly supernatural stamina that allows them to maintain intensity long after others have depleted their reserves. We unveiled the strategic mind that operates behind their apparently impulsive exterior, identifying weaknesses with predatory precision and exploiting them without hesitation. We explored their raw charisma, that electric current of authentic enthusiasm that naturally positions them as influencers regardless of formal authority. Deepening our understanding, we witnessed their stubborn determination, the immovable force that acknowledges neither external obstacles nor rational limitations once they've committed to a path. We recognized their impulsive decision-making, compressing consideration and action into what appears as a single movement, thriving on adrenaline rather than careful analysis. We acknowledged their natural leadership, that instinctive capacity to take control without institutional validation or formal positioning. In our final revelations, we uncovered their fierce protectiveness, transforming their formidable qualities into something approaching mythological proportions when defending those they love. We experienced their brutal honesty, cutting through social pretense and comfortable illusions with surgical precision, regardless of emotional impact. And finally, we confronted their boundless courage, that absence of existential fear that allows them to face challenges others would flee from, with a baseline confidence most signs must consciously construct. These 12 qualities, interlocking and amplifying each other, establish Aries not merely as dangerous, but as essential catalysts for human evolution. Their capacity to initiate change, overcome resistance, and lead beyond established boundaries provides crucial service to collective advancement, even while creating potential for destruction through their unmodulated intensity. If you've recognized these qualities in the Aries, individuals who have blazed through your own life, or perhaps in yourself if you were born under this powerful sign, you've experienced firsthand both the transformative potential and the formidable challenges of engaging with the zodiac's warrior archetype. Perhaps you've benefited from their protection, been inspired by their courage, or been changed by their honesty, or possibly you've been singed by their temper, challenged by their competitiveness, or destabilized by their impulsivity. To continue this cosmic journey of understanding the hidden powers and dangerous qualities of each zodiac sign, subscribe now to Secret of the Zodiac. Each week we delve into the shadow aspects and formidable strengths that make each sign both powerful and potentially dangerous in their unique expressions. Our upcoming explorations will reveal the surprising dangers lurking behind Taurus's apparent stability, the dual nature that makes Gemini unpredictable, and the emotional depths that render Cancer far more powerful than their nurturing exterior suggests. Take a moment now to like this video, helping others discover these zodiacal revelations. Share your experiences with Aries in the comments below. Have you witnessed these dangerous qualities firsthand? Which Arian characteristic has most impacted your life, either positively or destructively? Your stories create a tapestry of real-world evidence that helps our community understand these astrological energies beyond theoretical interpretation. If you found value in today's exploration, consider supporting Secret of the Zodiac through Super Thanks. Your financial contribution directly supports our research, production costs, and enables us to create daily content exploring the Zodiac's hidden dimensions. Every contribution, regardless of size, helps sustain this channel's mission of unveiling the deeper truths of astrological influence on human psychology and relationships. The cosmos continues revealing its secrets to those willing to look beyond surface interpretations. Join our astrological sanctuary, where we explore not just what each sign appears to be, but what they truly are beneath the conventional descriptions. Secret of the Zodiac awaits your participation in this ongoing cosmic revelation. Subscribe now and transform your understanding of the stars that shape our lives.